we appreciate your patience tonight. We had our speaker on the line. We're having some sort of technical difficulty as far as reaching him. So we're going to give it another try here. Tonight we were going to speak of the Omega Blend, which is a new product relatively for us, just being introduced in trials at our past conference, and of course will be available to all of our distributors in the next few months. We have many people who are experiencing the great results of that product, and that is what Sean is going to hopefully talk to you all about tonight. I'm just going to give you a little background on Sean, hoping that Missy will locate him here and we'll get him back on the line. I know he was with us as we started. But just to tell you a little bit about Sean as we wait for him, he's the Vice President of our company in Product Research and Market Intelligence. So he really is hands-on as far as what happens with our product line, not only the growth and development of it from a market standpoint, but the purity, the validity of it, all of those things. Sean Hopkins joined our Juice Plus team in Canada in September 1993, straight from the University of Western Ontario, where he studied economics. He spent 4 years in the Canadian office in sales and marketing, and then took an assignment in the U.S., 4 years in the U.S., He was in Japan for 4 years with our company, in the UK for a year, in various global business development roles. He returned to the U.S. in 2005. And here I might stop to share with you that our products are marketed in, I think we're right at 32 countries now, worldwide. And so it is something certainly that we span the globe with, and that's a very exciting thing to be involved in, is really, bringing good nutrition to people worldwide. Sean obviously has had experience in many of these markets, and so, that's a real plus as well. He now serves as Vice President of, as I said, Product Research and Market Intelligence, where his team is responsible for the technical and quality aspects of our product line. He also oversees our ongoing clinical research program, which has 36 published trials, with 5 underway and others under consideration. His market intelligence team publishes business intelligence globally, focusing on positive trends and underlying key learning. The team has enabled the company to better understand the drivers and barriers in sales momentum. So it's important to know about Sean is that he's got that really in-depth knowledge of product and product development, but he's also heads up market research and intelligence and development. And I just got a little text here that says I can 3-way him in. And so we found a number for him. So just hold tight for me here 1 minute and we'll get to hear from him. Just a second. Everyone on the line, I'm very fortunate. We've located Sean. He was actually on, but we couldn't hear him there, but we've got him on another number. So he's going to share with you all the great things that we have introduced him to know, okay, which is a product in market intelligence. The Omega Blend is what we will really concentrate on tonight, as that is a new product for us. And Sean, I might tell you that we have people from all over the world listening, huge contingents from Australia. We have people from Hawaii and Canada and all through the U.S. And I think we have 1 or 2 up in the UK tonight. So, and I've shared with them your story, so share with them what you know. Okay? We're going to talk about the Omegas. Thank you.
So sorry, Carol, that this didn't work technically because I was on the line 10 minutes ahead and until introductions.
Well, it teaches us patience with technology, right?
And then my phone wouldn't pick up calls from this. It's just a nightmare. So I grabbed another phone, and here we are. So, yeah, I'd love to really focus on Omega Blend tonight, Carol, from the Anaheim conference in mid-April or so. It's been just an awesome start for this product. We spent the better part of 2 years getting ready for it, and it way exceeded our expectations. It's the first attempt ever at a global launch, probably why there's so many people from around the world listening in. We're live actually everywhere with the product today except for Canada and Australia. They just have a couple of the more stringent regulatory bodies that make it a little bit more difficult and take a little bit more time to get ready, but we are on track for what we expected for launching in Canada and Australia later, into this summer, later in the summer. So pretty much within a quarter, we'll have launched this product in every of the 25 countries we're active in. So we're pretty excited about that. We spent a lot of time trying to make this product be a very close sibling to orchard, garden, and vineyard. It's got a lot of similarities in terms of the breadth of benefits that omegas bring, just like fruits and vegetables bring such a wide breadth of benefits. It's got a really cool process story, just like orchard, garden, and vineyard. We spent a lot of time with the raw materials, ensuring that as we process them, they are what we consider minimally processed, where we're really trying to leave nature in nature's state and intervening to the least degree we can so that we have the closest thing to whole food as possible. So it took some time to refine that to get ready for the launch in Anaheim. We had originally anticipated to be ready earlier, but it was worth the wait. It's an awesome product, and we're well underway. We started this phase, the first phase actually, allowing national marketing directors around the world and healthcare professionals around the world to try it themselves. And recently we have some survey feedback from a couple hundred of them already, sharing their personal experience on the product. And thought that was very important to make this a part of a launch. Because we have such a narrow product line, I believe that's a big luxury for a company like ours. We thought it was important to stage the launch, to really be careful to get as many things right as we could. And one of the best things we could do from the beginning is have our leadership understand and buy into the concept and experience firsthand the product. So literally in the last 10 or 12 days, we've been collecting feedback from national marketing directors and healthcare professionals from around the world on what they think they're experiencing with the product. So I'll share a couple of interesting insights from them. First of all, about 40% of them were currently taking a omega product, and they switched to take ours when we made it available. So that's interesting, and we think that'll be the case in the marketplace as well, because omega blends or omegas, omega-3 usually has been around for a while, and there's very strong evidence of their benefits, and people have pretty good understanding of the goodness of omegas. What we're bringing is just a broader array of omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And when we asked national marketing directors and we asked healthcare professionals how much they knew about this kind of storyline within omegas, the response was impressive. They had a very high understanding of what omegas were all about and all of the things that we built into the product, like the fact that it's minimally processed, that it's plant-based, that it's vegan, that it's non-GMO, that it's NSF certified. These are things that they knew were going to be important, and they believe are going to be important to when we start opening this up to more and more customers. One of probably the most interesting things was we asked them what they would expect to experience on the product at the beginning of the survey, and then we followed that up with this recent survey asking what they actually believe they're experiencing. And what they expected and what they're getting is in very close alignment, so that was cool. And also what they're experiencing is a very broad array of experiences. And so one of the things we get asked about a lot, Cheryl, is, what are the particular benefits of any of these various omegas, omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. 3 seem to be the most known. Most people know them for fish. Fish get their omega-3 content from algae. So we just went straight to the source. We affectionately say we cut out the middle fish and are getting omega-3s in different forms, very important forms, DHA and EPA in particular, that are known largely for heart health and brain health, but they're also big for eye health and skin health and also for inflammation. And then into the 5, omega-5, that's primarily contributed to by pomegranate seed oil. It's known in particular, among other things, for blood sugar benefits and digestive health. And then probably the most unique that people didn't expect was the sea buckthorn berry oil. Now, this has a really cool story that we're working on. The supplier we're working with has the sea buckthorn harvested in the Himalayas at 12,000 feet. The farm that we work with is run by all women, and really cool story that we anticipate capturing on video to share. And what this really robust berry does is provide it's largely used in products that people want for beauty orientation, for skin, for for their eyes, for their hair. But also, there's really strong evidence that that this can provide brain benefits, heart benefits, and also immune system benefits. So, broad array here. The oils from the fruits and vegetables kind of cover much of what I've already shared: immune, inflammation, heart, blood sugar. Often omega-6 is a question we're getting, and we have lots of people concerned about, why would you ever put omega-6s in there when it's known that there are some forms of omega-6 that are actually a little bit detrimental, and probably because they're out of balance with other omegas. And our answer to that is we didn't put anything in there to get any number of 6 or any number of 9. In particular, we get questions around both of those. We just minimally processed sources of foods that had a great overall profile of all these omegas, and the 6s and 9s just came along for the ride. And in fact, there are forms of 6 in particular that are very beneficial, and we're looking at exactly how much of that form we're actually pulling into our products so we can speak to that. But I think when it comes to 6s, most of what we'll be sharing with people is that, especially in North America, they're a little out of balance with 3s and 6s because of dietary choices, because of food choices. And if we can educate people like we do on better choices around eating plants, we can also educate them on educational food choices on lowering the amounts of 6s they get from other less healthy oils that are typically processed and in grocery stores near you. One thing we know is that in Europe, they don't have anywhere near the same challenge of balance. So we're going about broad array, a little bit of more things. We believe that synergy is huge. We're looking for synergy at a clinical level. It's got such a strong parallel to the synergy that orchard, garden, and vineyard bring, and it's such a great peer product to those two. Another thing that we've been watching very closely, and it was another big reason why we wanted to phase the launch of this, is we wanted to learn how this is playing at the point of sale for our representatives. So right now, sales coordinators in hire can sell to up to 5 customers. And right now, first of all, we attracted more sales coordinators in hire to get involved than we had forecasted. And those sales coordinators in hire have already attracted more customers than we had forecasted. And we had a pretty astute forecasting model, because you can see exactly the pace at which people acquire customers. So we had a sense of it, but it's already outpaced our expectations. And that was part of the short outage we had in the U.S. Maybe a week or 10 days ago. But so far, it's going very good at the point of sale. And also what people are doing very interesting, which we knew they would, is they're combining Omega with almost every combination of other products that you could imagine. And we like that. We've never seen selling Omega Blend alone as a good thing, because it's so complementary to our other products. So we're very encouraged by the different combinations of Omega Blend and other products that are being shared at the point of sale. And all of these learnings we plan on being the primary part of the full launch, which will occur at our fall conferences, where it will be less about the product and more about the point of sale around the product, more sales and more marketing kind of discussion. And a big part of what we build into those sales and marketing thoughts and concepts will come from intelligence that we gather from the representatives in the field. So far, Cheryl, we're off to just a really good start. Don't think we could have asked for more.
Well, and I can tell you just from the experience of myself, my national marketing directors, my sales coordinators, it may be if I describe it as the easiest point of sale as far as presenting this to people, the most receptive point of sale, I guess I should say, of any product we've ever introduced. And I think it's because people must have so much education. You go to your doctor's office and say, be sure to take your omegas, and you see it everywhere. And even though Juice Plus has always totally made sense to people, fruits, vegetables, and berries, people have a lot of education on that as well. But like you said, there was a huge majority of people who were already on omegas, so it only made sense to get the best form of it. And for myself, one of the things that was very exciting to me, and as well I just could hardly wait, is that I'm one of those people that is highly allergic to any type of seafood, shellfish, fish, anything that has even, had anything to do or been near a fish. And so I couldn't ever take omega-3s, and things like flax, I never have been able to really digest that very well for whatever reason. So I was really limited as to what I could do for myself in that regard. It's been very exciting for me to have this more or less breakthrough product. And for anybody else who would be in my situation, it's very exciting. And, I'll see people that have been on Juice Plus, Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard for years and say, I can't get over this. How good I feel. I thought I felt as good as I could possibly feel, and now I'm at another level, and I recover faster from workouts, or I just feel good overall. There's a new feel good. And so, whatever it does, it's doing a good job of it so far from everything that we can see, and I've certainly not heard one complaint. So, it's very exciting to have an introduction, and it just be so beautifully received from everybody in every direction, our distributors, our customers. It's a wonderful addition and complement, and I think that really completion of what we have to offer. So I know we had a few questions. I was going to ask you and again, the question has come up just like you said, to have 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 as far as omegas in the product. Or is there any particular extra benefit to that, or is it just the whole idea that the greatest benefit that you can have is the synergy of all together?
Yeah, we believe in synergy for sure. We believe in a broader array. Smaller amounts of more things is just kind of comes natural to the body, and we believe we've proven that in the Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard product line. And like we have with Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard, we are committed to a clinical research program with Omega Blend, and we've already started some preliminary clinical work to understand the product properties. And what's interesting is our research team can actually look at other phytochemicals that are present in the oils, which confirm to us that yes, they are minimally processed, and that they, for example, the seeds, they're cold processed, they're cold pressed. So we're not going and isolating any given omega and using some kind of extraction process, often involving chemicals or heat, to get any particular number of omegas. We are taking the raw material and processing it as minimally as possible to leave all the little things that are in there. And one of the studies that we talked about at conference that is recently published for Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard looked at polyphenolics, 92 different compounds that most of us probably couldn't pronounce. And to me, what this confirmed is that those known to be very sensitive ingredients are in the product and working, and not only bioavailable but bioeffective. So, the whole synergy thing has always been a big part of our story, and the way Omega was formulated, it's definitely formulated for synergy.
Well, and I've always heard, as I've gone along this journey with Juice Plus for nearly a quarter of a century now, is that some of the best things about it are the things that we don't know yet, that make a huge difference for our bodies. And we watch this. I mean, it's wonderful to have all the clinical trials and the double-blind gold standard research, but it's also wonderful to watch people really take hold of, good health and maintain really good health and, see things that their body's dealing with and they deal with it much more efficiently and just much more effectively, and then stay at a really good level of health. I think that's been one of the greatest things over the years that I've found for myself is I can depend on feeling good every day. And I don't know that that's the norm with the majority of people in the world or in our country or in any other country, is that you really feel like you do have an edge as far as your health is concerned. You mentioned research. Let's talk just a little bit more about, ongoing research and upcoming research. What you all are looking at. I love hearing just what we heard at the conference in regard to the products and, the various products that we have, of course, are always being looked at, and I think that's an amazing thing because from what I understand, it's product-specific research. It's research that's on our product itself, not just little parts of this, that, or the other that's been taken from other research.
And I want to make it clear that when I was referring to the known benefits of the omega 3, 5, 6, 7, 9 earlier, that's benefits that have been revealed through other people's research. We have not made it a practice to borrow other people's research to support claims for the performance of our products. So it's our plan to conduct our own original research on omega blend to use in support of a performance claim. And we have high hopes for it already, preliminary, very interesting results. And it's kind of a multi-stage thing, and our promise to the field was to have something contracted for and to the point where we could share kind of what the study design was by the fall conference, which is our full launch phase. So that's what we're hustling towards. And in the meantime, it's quite likely that research that's underway around orchard, garden, and vineyard, we could have further publications. We announced the 37th clinical trial in our body of research at conference, 36 and 37. In fact, we talked about, and we have 4 others that are underway that are at, 2 of them are actually finished, just waiting for either presentation or publication. One, the first on wisdom tooth extraction, how people recover from wisdom tooth surgery in terms of pain medication use, overall pain felt, how they can use their mouth and open their mouth to eat and talk after surgery, and an overall kind of quality of life rating around all of that. We're very excited about the results of that. One of the ones I always like to see is what we call systematic review trials, which is not a new trial with subjects taking our products. It's somebody assessing our entire body of research and extrapolating through statistical models across the entire body some probable outcomes, some statistically significant probable outcomes. And this will be the 4th one that will be published, and it's looking at potential for disease risk reduction and also potential for healthcare cost reduction, which we think is going to be monumental for our body of research as well. And then 2 very interesting subjects after that are already underway. One at the University of Memphis here, studying nurses, that includes orchard, garden, vineyard, and our complete shake mix product. That's looking at the microbiome, gut health. This is a very hot topic and very interesting topic, and one that we think we already have anecdotal evidence of for sure, and believe that the results from this will be very, very inspiring. And then the last one underway is at Tufts University, and this is around aging. And our director of clinical research, Dr. Manfred Lamprecht, has what he believes to be one of the best in the field of aging conducting this trial at Tufts University. So we're really excited about what that's going to bring, and that'll take us to 41 published clinical trials, and they collectively have an impact score that's literally off the chart. Impact score is just really a rating of what the scientific community feels about the reputation of where you're published. I guess is the easiest way to put it. And we we have a score that's approaching 110, and that's essentially unheard of for a single product like ours. So even though we have that standing where we can consider ourselves the most researched product of our kind in the world, we still plan on kind of keeping the pedal to the metal for research. And so we are underway right now negotiating contracts with universities around brain health and cognitive function. We think that's a very important topic that we can serve benefits on. We're also looking at continuing the nutrigenomics work we recently just got started with when we published in Newcastle, Australia. That has very strong appeal, and the video that we published around it has got 45,000 views or so already, so lots of interest there. Juice Plus Complete Shake has been such a growing and prominent part of our product line that we're talking to universities about including it more with more studies, and of course, like our talk about Omega Blend, for sure we'll have a robust clinical trial program behind it. So research has always been a way for us to set ourselves apart and create a competitive edge. And although we've held this position of the most researched product of our kind for a long time, we still want to kind of keep the pedal to the metal and just look for bigger names with bigger subject matter, creating bigger impact.
Well, and, what could be more exciting for all of us? I mean, we all go through life, and aging is one of those things you want to starve off as long as you can, and really for quality of life, just people wanting the very best quality of life. So I'm very interested, as I know many people are, in that, in all of these studies, and certainly I think we see it around us as well. As I said, to really be healthy every day, to be able to depend on that, is saying a huge thing. And also the concern over brain health as that becomes more and more an issue, in this country and in other parts of the world. I think that, to be able to show distinctions in how we can support people in healthy, brain is certainly a wonderful thing as well. So we'll certainly be looking forward to hearing those things, hearing about them as soon as they come about. And tell us, maybe you can just share with people, because they may not know, when you say things like, looking at the genome and how this, affects the body in that regard, or the bionome as far as the gut's concerned. Just share with people a little bit about what that means. Because I found that very interesting as well. I know those are kind of, in a sense, almost new topics in the as far as people in the population, even though I'm sure they've been studied for many years by scientists. For the population in general, it's something that I think is very interesting.
Sure. I mean, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, Cheryl, but I can certainly share kind of the core message that we would put out to a broad audience. Layperson audience. And microbiome is essentially gut health in the gut. Lots of people relate gut health to probiotics, and for us being a whole food, plant-based company, it's hard for us to feel like we can grow bacteria in that context. So we're never going to be a probiotic company, but probiotics thrive off of what they call prebiotics, which is basically feeding that bacteria the right kind of food for it to thrive and offer benefit. You could have the perfect probiotics, but if you're eating pizza and drinking beer, then you're not feeding that bacteria properly in order for the benefits to come into play. And so we already provide prebiotics through the fibers that all of our products contain fibers that we think offer prebiotic benefit and contribute to gut health. And the study at Netflix is going to prove that. And there's some really interesting kind of leading edge discussions around what gut health can do for your body. And one of the interesting connections that has us very curious is the connection to the brain. So it's kind of very new, and we're looking at what we can do to study healthy gut leading to better brain function. So that's kind of where our heads are at with microbiome. With nutrigenomics, the way I like to share that is the way Dr. David Phillips has always shared, is that we've always believed that lifestyle could trump the hand that you're dealt genetically, and that you're not just stuck with your genetic code. You can flip switches to the positive, to the better for your body. You're not locked into your genetic code. And the study that we just published showed that we flipped to the positive around 1,600 different genes. So very interesting initial results. And with that same principal investigator, we plan on doing more, because we've felt this for the longest time, and we've talked about it for the longest time, but being able to prove it in a clinical environment is pretty rewarding. And so we're going to continue to study how lifestyle and trump genetics, and hopefully Newcastle is just the first of a few to come in that subject area.
That's awesome. I love this stuff, and I loved it. I have been swallowing it every day in large quantities for now 24 years. I think we're 24 years with Peace Plus, aren't we? And so for myself, my family, my children and grandchildren, I just think we're very, very blessed that it does give us an edge. And now with the omegas, the edge only gets stronger and wider and bigger, and we have more to offer. So we really appreciate you and all of your input and all that you do for us in the field on a daily basis. One thing I can say about Sean is he's one of the sharpest people I know, and so we can feel very good about him leading the charge at the home office with all of these things, our market research as well as our product research, and really, giving us the very best to take to the world and in the best way. So anything else you want to share with us, or do you think we've covered it pretty well?
One thing that comes to mind is you say those very kind words. One of my first experiences joining the product team some time ago when John Blair was leading it was I felt so vulnerable that I didn't know enough. I didn't have formal education here, and John just told me, it was 17 years ago, Sean, you don't have to know more, you have to care more. And that's just something I see when we meet our farmers and when we meet our principal investigators in our research. What drives them is that they care. Not only can they make awesome products or can they build great protocols for research, but they want to. Our farmers want to build the best products they can build, and our principal investigators want to publish the best research they can, and that's just inspiring. And we are driven so much by how your efforts parlay into the market. And one of the cool things that I hear from our product partners and research partners when we bring them to our conference and kind of incognito have them watch everybody is they say they don't get opportunities to see their hard work manifest itself to the end user like they get to see it when they come to our conference. So that's been a really cool part of working in a very technical world, like with people who really care. And so I don't need to feel that vulnerable, not knowing enough, because I know that I care enough, and you just have to get good at asking good questions.
Well, and we do have an amazing team when you look at corporate, the field, the growers. I mean, I've been with the company 30 years now, and I was actually there when, they were talking about, introducing Juice Plus, and I can remember the growers wanting to interview, the company because they wanted to make sure we were going to live up to their standards as well, that it was going to be a two-way street in that regard. And, that's beautiful. That is really, if you look at what you've just said and what we've experienced all these years, it sets us apart in a world where traditional business is, bottom line, is how whatever generates money. And not that we're here not to do business. We're here to do business and for people to flourish in business. But I think you can do the right thing and have a very successful business at the same time. And that's the beauty of having not only the joy of being involved in it, but the moral ethics from a business standpoint that really stand head and shoulders above anything that we know otherwise. So thank you so much for your input, and really appreciate your time with us tonight, and for everybody on the line. It's been a joy to have all of you with us. It's a joy to work alongside each and every one of you, and I've been here 30 years and looking forward to the next 30 years. So we'll see it happen and continue to happen.
Okay. Thanks so much for having me back. Look forward to the next one.
Okay. Thank you, John. Good night, everyone.